So this is Judge Anthony.
The number one thing that a narcissist fears the most in a divorce or child custody battle is being exposed. My name's Judge Anthony. I've been a family law attorney for over 20 years, and I served 5 years on the...
So Judge Anthony must be extremely knowledgeable since he was a family law attorney for several years and a judge for 5 years. Well, not so fast. Let's think about this. So this guy helps people represent themselves, counsels them. If they got an attorney, he kind of coaches them for $750 an hour for a one-on-one consultation to tell you a lot of the same stuff that I'm telling you. And I disagree with him on some stuff. I've seen him make some stupid political stances. I've seen him. Well, let's just get down to why you should ask questions before you hire anybody, including me. I tell you guys, don't believe. This is where I'm different than other people. I tell you, don't believe what I say just because I say it. Go look at my winning court orders, my flow page, my custody order, contempt order. My first trial on contempt, I defeated the mother, her attorney, a guardian ad litem who all hated me, and I represented myself. My first try in 2001. My winning court of appeal, my 2 wins in the court of appeals. I could have had more if I wanted to appeal stuff, but I didn't have time and energy to deal with that stuff. And other stuff. Don't believe what I'm saying just because I say it. And then a lot of my free videos, I'm telling people where to go, where to find the law in your state, where to find the court rules and stuff like that. I'm giving you a bunch of free information that you can launch out and do a lot of this stuff on your own. Just a consult with me is a benefit to get laser-like focused on your situation. This guy, let's go through it. He loves throwing out narcissist stuff because some of you are suffering from narcissistic abuse so bad, you're desperate for somebody to listen to you. Then you hear a guy with the credentials. I'm a judge and I'm an attorney. I was part of the corrupt family court system, so you can trust me. That's like saying, okay, I do seminars on ethical business practices. I was in the mafia for 20 years. How stupid is that? This guy, I've never, and I don't watch his stuff in a whole lot of detail, but I've never ever seen him talk about, oh, when I was a family law attorney, I helped dads win this, and I always did what was fair. He doesn't talk anything about his history as a family law attorney except, well, this are the tactics, and this is what judges listen to. Then he was a judge for 5 years, and he said, you know what? I didn't realize how bad a divorce was until I went through my own. Well, he committed adultery with somebody in their hometown, according to one of my followers who lives in his hometown. And it was a real controversial thing. And he stepped down as judge. Maybe he stepped down because he needed to focus on his divorce. But now he's married to his rich adulteress. And he's rich. One time a client of mine said he talked to Judge Anthony, and Judge Anthony was telling him, well, it doesn't look, I'm not doing as well as you might think. And look at some of his videos from his mansion house. And then he's up here with these hats, flat rim hats, trying to be down. And some videos, he likes to shake his rump and clap his booty when he's got a testimonial to act like he's down. Now, maybe he's some guy who's cool, who was down before he became a lawyer or judge, and he's tatted up on his arms and stuff. So like maybe he's cool. You know, he's in his 50s or something, and it just seems like he's trying too hard. But he's doing real well at it because people say, oh my God, a judge, a former family law attorney? He must know what he's talking about. But think about it. If you think hard and think twice about anything in life, you'll probably be the smartest person in the room because everybody's a dumb sheep who just reacts emotionally to stuff. Now, you could go do Judge Anthony all you want. I'm just getting you guys to think a little bit. He does this hook, line, and sinker thing with the narcissist. He reels you in. Watch every video I've seen. All he does is like, oh, here's some tips on this, tips on that. He leaves you hanging with, oh, this is what judges want. Judges want you to go in there and know what you're talking about and have your stuff together. Well, how do you put your stuff together? He won't tell you. He wants you to do a one-on-one, $750 an hour. Just think if this guy just did 2 consults a day. That's $1,500 that he pockets. $15,000 every 10 days. If he does 2 consults every day, and he just gets there and takes 2 hours out of every day, you know, that's $15,000, $30,000, $45,000. He's making $500,000 a year just being on the phone a couple hours a day with people. And he was part of the system. This guy does kind of bash the system because, like, I've seen some judges care about contempt. I've seen some judges who don't care. And then he's going to tell you how to win a contempt. I won my first contempt, and I show you my winning court orders. I don't care about, well, some judges this, some judges that. I'm going to demand from 100% of judges that they care about their orders and what the law says and the integrity of the court. And then also, he's kind of being disingenuous. I just saw his clip on contempt. He's kind of being a little liar, saying, well, some judges care, some don't. 100% of judges care when you don't pay child support. So if you're going into court and you're saying, hey, the mother withheld the child from me for 3 months, and they say, oh, slap on the wrist. Then she does it again for 3 weeks. Say, Your Honor, what's the purpose of your orders if you're not going to enforce them? I guess I don't have to pay child support now since you don't enforce your orders in this court. And then you flip it around and use their own logic or their own lack of adherence to the order or lack of doing their job. You flip it around. This is a common sense, obvious thing that a fourth grader can think of. But attorneys with law degrees can't think of it? So, this guy, number one, it looks like he's trying to be down real hard. Number two, he was a judge and he was a family law attorney, part of the corruption. I doubt that he helped a whole bunch of dads get full custody. I doubt he fought for full custody for dad's law. I doubt he even fought for 50-50. If he cares so much about how corrupt the system is and wants to help people, why isn't he out here calling out the system or doing seminars or doing political rallies? He's not doing any of that stuff. I've done way more. I mean, I've done 100% more, than he has. If you watch my video on my YouTube channel, type in protests. There's a couple of protests where I'm talking about, I show pictures of me protesting in front of my judge's own house. In front of I've protested my opposing attorney's house, passed out flyers at the courthouse, everywhere. Done videos. I got videos on my YouTube channel exposing attorneys and talking in detail about them. This guy never does that stuff. He just wants to make money off of the need, which is fine. If you provide services or an answer for a need, then you should get paid or compensated for it because you're providing somebody. Like some of you guys out there not some of you guys, I have a small following on TikTok, but there's a lot of people, all they want to do is make a comment in the comments and then want me to give them some magical solution in a one-sentence comment. You don't really want to fight. You want a magical solution in this day and age of push button, order Amazon, fast food drive-through. You don't really care. And the one thing that you really need to start your custody battle is a mentality that you're willing to fight and go to war. If you don't have that and you just want some free information in a comment, you're not ready to hunker down. If you're taking an astronomy class and you need tutoring, are you going to email the tutor and say, hey, or text the tutor and say, hey, give me a one-sentence answer on how I can get an A in the class? No, you're going to sit down and work with the tutor. For some reason, my gender thinks you don't have to put in the work. You don't have to get a consultation. You could just go on the comments and get a magical answer. But deep down, you really don't want to fight. You're hoping there's some magical solution. You don't want to get off your rear. I had to go to war in my case. I had to suffer in my case. I had to be willing to go have a mentality. I'm going to fight for my kid until she's 18. And I actually stumbled across the answer of what actually works, fighting the way that I fought. And it's worked for thousands of other people. And you got to have your mind made up you're willing to do that. And if you're not willing to dive in and get your hands dirty and dig deep and think long-term, this is a long-term war, and you just want a quick answer, then quit on your kid now and just so you don't have any stress. If you're willing to go to war for your kid, it's going to be hell and it's going to be ugly. But the more you fight and engage in the warfare, the faster your case may be over with. But you got to be willing to do that, just like any war. If you're going to half-ass it in a war, not fight the enemy, and you're going to just try and negotiate and talk with them while they're encroaching on your land, like Hitler was taking over all of Europe when Chamberlain was the prime minister of Britain. But when Churchill became the prime minister, he's like, screw that. I'm not negotiating with the terrorists. We're going to war. And there's collateral damage, and there's pain and suffering for a while. And then we united with America. We went to war, dead bodies, collateral damage, all that stuff. But when the peaceful person takes over, then there's peace. You're the peaceful parent. You got to go to war. And a lot of people are afraid of the ugliness. Oh, I don't want to get ugly. I don't want to talk bad about it. Then quit on your kids. You're in a war. Grow up, grow a pair, and realize this is war. So, that being said, when you see anybody, ask like, okay, what's their track record? How do they prove that they know what they're talking about? I show you my winning orders. There's testimonials. This guy has testimonials. He is telling some truth, but he's bragging about his experience when he was part of the mafia that is the system that's destroying and trafficking kids. Why does he brag about that so much? Because everybody's bamboozled. Oh, you got credentials. You got a fancy suit and tie. You got a bar number. You got a law degree. You were a judge. That means he was part of the corrupt system, and he never mentions what he did to really help people then. $750 an hour, that's insane to me. Nobody should be making more. No attorney should be making more than $100 an hour, $150